Tesla Q1 2021 earnings report reaction and analysis. Okay guys, so I finally got a chance to read most of the Tesla's Q1 earnings call transcripts. So we're going to talk a lot about this latest earnings. It was a record earnings basically across the board with great delivery production, record revenue, record non-GAAP income. So we're going to take a look at this a little bit closely and give you guys my future prediction for Tesla's stock price. Before we get into the video, guys, I want to remind you guys again to grab your 2 free stocks over at Webull. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. If you guys are watching this like on the TV, go to investortrip.com/Webull and simply open an account and deposit at least $100 to grab your 2 free stocks, guys. Webull is my favorite stock trading app alternative to Robinhood, guys. Let's get back into the video. So this has been a little disappointing on the earnings reaction to Tesla. Actually, the stock is down and after hours. And I actually ended up buying some call options. I was really bullish. I knew that this would be a really good report, not just because Tesla had record deliveries, but because Tesla definitely made a profit on their Bitcoin purchase. So let's talk a little bit more about this report and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. So here we are. You guys can access the investor deck. I'm going to link to this in the description so you guys can take a look for yourself. So let's just kind of go over the basics here. As you can see here, I'm going to blow this up a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. That's too big. Okay, so here it says, in summary, in Q1 we achieved our highest ever vehicle production deliveries. That was despite a multiple challenges including seasonality, supply chain instability, and the transition to the new Model S and Model X. Now guys, historically Q1 is a very soft quarter for EV makers. It's usually one of the lower quarters, and as you can see, usually demand and income and revenue kind of increases throughout the year, right? So it's pretty slow in Q1 and it gets much stronger as we head to Q3 and Q4. But actually for this quarter, it was super strong. So these are all great signs moving forward. So it says here our GAAP net income reached $438 million. Our non-GAAP net income surpassed $1 billion for the first time in company history. So guys, also some other highlights were made. The Model 3 became the #1 best-selling premium sedan in the world. As you can see here, production ramp of the Model Y is progressing well, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, vehicle production and deliveries, all records in Q1. So it says here, while the ASP, average selling price of our vehicles declined in Q1, our auto gross margin increased sequentially as our costs decreased even faster. Reducing the average cost of the vehicles we produce is central to our mission. In 2017, we began production of the Model 3. Our average cost per vehicle was around $84,000, and due to the launch of new products, new factories, reduced mix of the Model X and Model Y, our average cost declined to $38,000 per vehicle, guys. So this is great. And one of the nice things about Tesla is that as they're going to continue to ramp up deliveries and ramp up production and continue to work on getting the cost down. And we saw the same thing when smartphones first launched. The very first smartphones were super expensive, and now you can basically get a nice smartphone for like $100, $200. Some even cheaper than that, guys. So we're going to see the same thing in the electric car industry. Basically things are just going to get better and better over time. So they're going to ramp up deliveries of the Model S as well, and the Model Y is continuing to progress, and we should see a lot of those deliveries in the Q2 report. So let's talk a little bit about those actual numbers. So as you can see here, a couple of interesting things. So operating cash flow was $293 million, debt and finance lease reduction of $1.2 billion, net cash outflow of $1.2 billion related to Bitcoin. So we'll talk a little bit more about that Bitcoin purchase as well. And there was a small decrease in the cash balance, guys. So let's move down here and let's take a look at these numbers. So as you can see here with Tesla, obviously, it was a really challenging quarter. There was a huge chip supply chain issue globally. We had the whole Suez Canal situation, and there were a lot of things that were kind of headwinds for the whole EV industry. So the fact that Tesla was able to generate record revenues, and record non-GAAP income, and just record deliveries across the board was just really spectacular, guys. So now I know a lot of naysayers are going to talk about how Tesla is generating basically the bulk of their income through regulatory credits, which is true, guys. But one of the things about Tesla is that Tesla is not really a car company, right? So you can't compare Tesla to like Ford or GM. Tesla is a software company. So a better comparison with Tesla would be something like probably Microsoft. The whole goal of Tesla is to get as many of these vehicles on the roads, and then the software that runs these, operates these cars, is going to continue to progress over time and get smarter and smarter and smarter. And then they're going to do a lot of things like generate money from the supercharging network and have robo-taxis and FSD, full self-driving, and they even have plans, to launch other upgraded features as things. There's a very, very interesting project called Tesla Dojo, which is supposedly similar to Amazon's AWS, where they're able to basically have kind of a 2.0 services link where they can use these Tesla cars and things like that to do many different things with the AI. So like I said, the whole goal of Tesla is basically exactly what Apple and Microsoft does, right? So when Apple and Microsoft, they want to get these devices in your hands. Once they get these devices in your hands, that's when they're able to sell software. That's when they're able to generate extra revenue. So you can almost call these cars kind of a loss leader, but obviously they're good for karma reasons. They're reducing carbon emissions, and every gas guzzler we get off the streets is just better for the overall environment. So let's take a look at some of these numbers. As you can see here, net income was at a record high, and non-GAAP earnings per share was 93 cents. So there was a couple of reasons why this was so high. Obviously, there were a lot of one-time charges in the previous earnings report that weren't there. And of course, the income from Bitcoin. So we're going to talk a lot about Bitcoin and things like that in the future, but I just wanted to clarify these numbers, guys. And Tesla ended the quarter with around 17 billion in cash. So we don't have to worry about Tesla running out of money anytime soon. That's plenty of money on their balance sheet. So total revenue grew 74% year over year, which is phenomenal. And profitability is turning around. One of the things I've noticed is that, basically Tesla has basically been able to maintain its profitability year over year and get better and better and better at what they're doing. This is still the beginning, I think. Tesla barely has 1 million cars on the road. So this is really the beginning of bigger and brighter things that are going to come in the future. So as we can see here, there wasn't any production of the Model X and Model Y. They're revamping those two models, and the majority of it was the Model S and Model X, and the majority of the production was the Model 3 and the Model Y. So you're going to see probably a big change in that, as there was a whole supply chain issue and they're revamping everything, but we're going to definitely see some better numbers probably overall in Q2, because once again, Q1 is usually one of the slower quarters. And another interesting thing, Tesla has increased its superstation network as well, added more connectors and more stations, guys. So if you guys out there looking for EV charging stocks, of course I talk a lot about ChargePoint, but I think Tesla is an interesting choice as well. And the solar business is improving as well. More solar megawatt hours and just more energy deployed, guys. So really just everything is improving, and that's one of the things I've noticed about Tesla as a company. They seem to just get better over time. So as long as they're continuing to improve and get better over time, things are going to be looking forward. So obviously, as you can see here, basically 98%, most of Tesla's competitors are ICE vehicles, and Tesla has a lot of things in the pipeline. They're still going to work on the Cybertruck, the Tesla Semi, the Roadster. So I think that Cybertruck is really going to take Tesla to the next level, because, America is still a country where people like owning trucks. America is a big car country. So the Model 3 is the best-selling sedan, but, Americans in general don't really like smaller cars. So while that car will do really, really well in places like California and China, I think if Tesla really wants to kind of grow their footprint even more, they're going to have to come out with bigger cars. So that means the Cybertruck, the Roadster, Semi, and things like that. So all of this stuff looks really good. So what I wanted to talk about again was some of the technology with Tesla. Tesla is really working on the full self-driving, and there was a lot of controversy earlier about some accidents and stuff like that. But overall, Tesla is still the safest car on the road by a long shot. And these, these smart cars are just so much safer than a regular car, whereas a regular car doesn't really do anything. It doesn't have like the AI, the software, or anything. Whereas with full self-driving and things like this, autopilot, autonomous driving, these cars are able to get yourself out of a jam and maybe even save your life when it comes to a dangerous situation, guys. So really, really interesting to see how Tesla has improved, basically just working towards this autonomous driving, full self-driving. And like I'm saying over and over again, Tesla is more of a software company than a car company. So that's really interesting to understand when you're basically doing a full analysis. So as you can see here, Tesla is also an energy company as well. Energy deployments grew 71% year over year, being by the driven popularity of the Powerwall. So if you're looking for like stocks, for instance, I own shares in Sunrun, and then you've got other EV companies as well. You've got companies like Lucid Motors that are coming out. You've got other EV companies like Fisker and stuff like that. If you're looking for kind of a stock that you can kind of combine charging stations, solar energy, and EVs, I think Tesla is a great choice. But that solar business is going to be much slower to grow, but there is a possibility that the Tesla solar business can actually outgrow the car business in the long run, and that'll be really interesting to see what happens there. So as you can see here, you know, there plenty of liquidity, no issues there. So here's a couple of pictures, guys, the factory constructions and things like that. So everything, you know, like I said with Tesla, it's all about constant improvement. So if we take a look at deliveries has consistently improved. This is a quarterly look, and if you look annually, the numbers are even a greater improvement. And once again, if we take a look here at you know, over the quarters, we can see that Tesla has really committed to basically having positive operating cash flow for most of these quarters. And we take a look here at net income. Tesla has been positive net income for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarters in a row, guys. So, you know, this company is definitely in the right direction. It's not perfect, and they are generating a lot of the income from things like Bitcoin and regulatory credits. But once these cars get on the road, that full self-driving upgrade for $10,000 and software and stuff like that, Tesla will really, the robo-taxi network, Tesla will be able to do a lot of spectacular things, but they just need these vehicles out there. As you can take a look here, deliveries, you know, continuing to just soar over time, and you know, operating cash flow, everything else looking swell. So one of the nice things about Tesla is that you know, basically they've just continually to just produce, and that's one of the nice things that you're going to get when you hold Tesla stock, is you're going to get lots and lots of consistent production. So now let's talk a little bit about some of the other things. I want to head over to the earnings call transcript. Got to give you guys some more insight. So you can actually grab this over at Seeking Alpha. So they just posted this a couple of hours ago, and I was waiting for this to come out. So here we go, basically an intro from Elon Musk. And obviously he said this was a really challenging quarter, but things are looking better. And he's talking about AI and things like that. So like I said, as he says here, insane difficulties with supply chains with parts over the whole range of parts. Obviously, we're upset about the chip shortage. This is a huge problem. And they also had difficulty scaling, driving production because they're unable to get critical engineers there because of the pandemic quarantine restrictions, guys. So just realize that with this quarter, when Tesla beat on these numbers, there were some headwinds here. So hopefully by next Q1 next year, these headwinds won't exist, and we should see some much stronger numbers. So then also I want to talk a little bit about the Bitcoin sale. So to kind of clarify that, a lot of people are like, well, what's going on with the Bitcoin? Well, Tesla ended up buying $1.5 billion in Bitcoin in February, and then they sold 10% of that position, and they pocketed a couple $100 million in gains. So they still have 90% of their position, and I was doing some research, and it said Elon Musk basically said that he just was buying and selling it just to show people that there's liquidity there, and to show that corporations and companies can transact in Bitcoin, can receive Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin. Like I said, Tesla is a hodler of Bitcoin. They still have 90% of their position, and they're accepting Bitcoin for car reservations and even to purchase cars. So I think we don't have to worry about anything long term there. So let's get back to the chart and tell you guys where I think Tesla stock is headed long term. So I think a lot of Tesla bears are going to look at these numbers and say, well, without the regulatory credits, without the Bitcoin, things wouldn't have been profitable. But I don't see it like that, because honestly, Tesla is going to continue to reduce the cost of the vehicle, which is highly tied to the battery. And the software is going to continue to get better and better and better. And if for you guys that live out in California, other places, it's no doubt that Tesla cars are starting to take over the roads. I've seen many videos and many screenshots. Even though I'm on the East Coast, I've seen many videos and many screenshots of Tesla vehicles everywhere. So this just reminds me of the whole smartphone epidemic, where you start to see iPhones everywhere. It's just the beginning. And I say personally, you want to do your own research, but I don't want to get caught on the wrong side of this stock. Tesla stock has been one of my best performers. It's my top #1 overall holding, a holding that I hold in my retirement account. So I'm going to end up buying the dip here. Now I'm a little disappointed that the stock kind of sold off at after hours, but because of I had so many call options, expiring at the end of this week. So that's unfortunate, but long term, I'm going to continue to add to my position in my retirement because I know that Tesla has so many better things coming up, and the software is going to get smarter and smarter over time. And once they have the AI and Tesla Dojo and things like that, things are going to be absolutely excellent, guys. So overall, I say it's an excellent quarter. The Suez Canal situation, the global chip shortage really was a huge issue for all EV stocks, but it's just nice to see EV stocks kind of rebound. And I think the people selling off Tesla, perhaps they're just taking profits, but I think for long-term hodlers, this is a nice buying opportunity. I'm going to be buying the dip here. So where do I think Tesla is going in the long run? Well, I am still have my prediction of Tesla stock hitting $1,000 this summer. So 3 reasons, guys. The first reason is I think the global chip shortage, which kind of sold off all of these EV stocks. I think those fears are done, and I think we're going to have a much bullish rest of the year. The second reason is that the revamped Model S and the Model X, I think that's really going to help improve overall sales, and I think the Model 3 is going to continue to sell well. And third is Bitcoin, guys. We're still not done with the whole Bitcoin bullish cycle. Tesla still owns quite a bit of Bitcoin, one of the largest corporate holders of Bitcoin in the entire world. So I think Bitcoin is going to definitely head to over $100,000 by the time this Bitcoin cycle ends, probably sometime around September or October. So that means, Tesla's holding Bitcoin, and they're going to make a lot more money on that Bitcoin. So those are my 3 reasons why I think Tesla is still a strong buy. I think this is a nice opportunity to add. I don't think Tesla will dip below 700, and I think we'll see 1,000 probably by around June or so. So that's just my prediction, guys. So I hope you enjoyed my content, guys. Be sure to check out the links in the description. Check out the Q1 report yourself and the transcript as well. And be sure to check out Webull again and grab your 2 free stocks, guys. So until next time, take care.